All right, it's 7 o'clock. Let's bring this meeting to order. Before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, our manager would like to make a couple of quick comments.
Yeah, I just wanted to call to the attention of the board. We have our new audio-visual setup here in the chambers starting tonight. Actually, it started last night. There's two new cameras, one behind us here that faces to the speaker table and to the citizens that are sitting out there, and then one behind where it's kind of always been, well, not always been, remote controlled. Both of these are remote controlled, and they're operated by the operator over by the table. We have new sound systems as well, a new speaker on the table where the citizens sit to speak to the board. They used it last night for the ZBA meeting. It's the broadcast is much better. The volume is much better. And we also have additional mics. We have some meetings occasionally, Planning Commission, where we don't have a microphone for everybody. We have additional microphones now that we can set up when we have that need. And pretty soon we'll have the ability for people, citizens, to watch the meeting live streaming on YouTube. I don't know if that's in place tonight or not. Okay. But the tripod will continue to exist maybe for the next 2 or 3 meetings, just in case there's a need for redundancy. But then that will go away, and the operator will be over at the table. Just like to thank and acknowledge Carrie from Mid-Michigan Area Cable Consortium for the installation, along with Ryan from CMS. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, exciting. All right, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Cody, roll call, please.
Supervisor Gunning?
Here.
Treasurer Rice?
Here.
Trustee Hauk?
Here.
Trustee Lannon?
Here.
Trustee Worley?
Here.
Trustee Micus is excused. Clerk Cody here.
That moves us to item 4, which is the approval of the agenda. I believe we have an addition. If somebody would like to make the motion.
I'll make a motion to add to the agenda to new business 10D, the approval of the land division for Oswald.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. All in favor of the addition into the agenda and then the approval of the agenda with that addition, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. New item added to the agenda. We'll make this item number D under new business. And that moves us on to item 5, which is going to be a presentation from Lynn Laskowski, and he's representative for Union Township on the Chippewa River District Library. Lynn.
And Ruth Helbig.
Oh, okay, and Ruth.
Well, we'd like to thank you for allowing us a few minutes to share with you again tonight. We enjoyed our time with you last few months ago, and we thought we'd like to come back and share some other ideas. One of the things that we like to do as board members, whenever possible, is to take a look at other libraries. We're content with our library, but yet we're not content with our library because we're always looking to make it better. And so coming home from our cottage to Hubbard Lake, Alpena area, I stopped at the Mayo Library, which is a very nice library, the county library, Oscoda County Library. They service about 8,500 folks in that area. They have a branch in Fairview. It was closed on that Thursday when I went through, so I didn't get to visit that one. I also visited the Alcona County Library. I've been in the Caledonia Library, which is right there at Hubbard Lake, and also I've been in the library at Lincoln, which is a very, very small town of about 300 or so, just off M72. And I also stopped at Grayling to see their beautiful library. They service about 14,000 in the community. They have one branch in Frederick. And you know, it's always good to see what they have. And one of the things that they are featuring in all of their libraries, much like ours, is that they now devote something of this nature, a meeting room, so that the public has an opportunity to come, not only use the books, the magazines, the computers, and the other programs, but also have time to have some other meetings. And so, as I said to you last time, it is my thought, and so many agree, that libraries are not dead. And it's always good then to stop and visit these other libraries and to see just how progressive they are, knowing that they are serving big needs in the community, especially in those smaller rural areas. People are very, very glad to be there. Of course, here in Mount Pleasant area, we feature about, working with about 52,000 people. So that means we're a little bit larger. We have the other branches, and they're doing very well. Love to give you a copy of our 2017 annual report. I hope I have enough.
Thank you.
I think Ruth also brought some. And just want to quickly take a second or two to walk you through a couple of the items that are there. And perfect, that works out well. I'll give you mine in a second. If you'll take a look at the opening materials, you can see some of the folks that are on the board. You can see our library locations and some basic information. Our director's report, Corey Friedrich does a very good job. He's young and progressive and willing to work the extra time needed to direct a library. The NASA at Your Library is a program that we were able to feature this year. We were one of 75 libraries in the United States that were able to receive this grant. Well over 500 libraries applied for it. We were one of the lucky 75. And over the year, we've featured a variety of programs dealing with the STEM projects, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. And that's designed for people of all ages. I believe in some of the presentations we partnered with CMU. A very wonderful time here for that 18-month project or grant, if you will. Also, I want to share with you, as you flip to the next page, the bottom line, if you will, some of the numbers that are very, very strategic here as we talk about the Chippewa River District Libraries. We mentioned many of these last time we were here, and this will give you maybe something to take along and have a greater understanding of our library system too. The next page features our courtyard. Great changes have taken place, fortunately, since these pictures were taken. There's a lot more grass there, and we're hoping that we can use that for programs out on the lawn if we need them, for picnics and just for general relaxation. When I go by the library, I oftentimes see people sitting at some of the tables just reading and enjoying maybe a little sun if they can. Hopefully there's a little shade there now and then. If you take a look at the next page with me, we are very, very grateful to those who offer memorials and that nature, donations to the library. We featured a few names there. If you count them up, there are roughly 70 entries there, which means about 5.3 people a week donate or are involved in helping keep the resources of the library as stellar as they are. It's a very, very important part. The next page features a picture or two. The one that I like to take a look at is the volunteers in the garden club are very active in the garden that's on the south side of the library. If you stop, go in both doors, if you will, and have a chance to see that. They're working there on the north side and doing a very, very wonderful work. We're very proud of the volunteers that spend time making our library what it is. And then if you'll take a look at the last page with me, you see the pie chart. It gives a pretty good idea as to how our funds are raised, where they come from, and of course, we are very, very appreciative of those funds and respect those who not only donate but pay the property taxes, the penal fines, and so on, the state aid. You can take a look at the chart there and see what they're like. We appreciate, again, the opportunity to come and share with you tonight, and Ruth has some thoughts that she would like to offer too.
I just want to echo one of the things that Lynn said, and I think that the programming at the library has been phenomenal. We've had our grandchildren to 2 programs this week. The Raptor program up in, at Rosebush, which was very well attended, especially when the eagle came out and everybody was excited. And then the Bubble Man today was in Rosebush, and that room was completely packed wall to wall with children and parents. So the library is very much alive and thriving in our community. Which leads me to the less fun part of the presentation. You hopefully all are aware that the library village is up for renewal. Believe it or not, the libraries was formed, the district was formed 20 years ago, and we had 10-year millage, and then we had an additional 10-year millage, and this is the end of that 10-year renewal. So on August 7th, there is ballot language to asking for a renewal of the millage for 20 years. We've felt that the community has already supported the library at the same rate, so no additional funding, it's the same rate for 20 years, and if we have 20-year commitment, we can do more long-range planning. The idea is to continue offering the great services that we do. We're not going to go off and do anything crazy, but just to keep up with technology, keep up with the demands of the patrons, because people are always asking for the different things that we're doing. So again, mostly the statistic in there I think says 81% of the budget. At this point, we're estimating that going forward, the millage is 85% of the budget. And the nice thing about it is that for every dollar in tax dollars that we as citizens pay, if we utilize the library, we get over $3 in return, because you can get free movies, free books, the Morning Sun. Not that I want any of these things not to get their own due from the people purchasing them, but there are all these things that a person who can't afford to go out and buy the Morning Sun or can't afford to go rent movies can utilize those at the library for their children and for their families. The programming that's offered, and Lynn mentioned the NASA programming. There was a magnet program this week. There's a program in another 2 weeks on exploding watermelons. So things to get children engaged in science and technology. So for every dollar invested, it's going to be it's well over $3 in return. And the average household is about for a $60,000 assessment. We're talking about $103, $105 per year per household. So that means everyone in the family has access to the library for that amount of money. So we just wanted to make sure that all of you are aware that the library millage is coming up. We are obviously in support of the library continuing to exist. If that millage doesn't go through, being it's 85% of the operating budget, some serious decisions will have to be made. But again, just wanted to make sure you all are aware, and if you have any questions, we can answer those for you. Okay. Well, thank
No
you.
questions, but the library is certainly an important part of the community, and certainly will be supporting the millage.
Thank you, thank you. We tried, one of the goals that we had in our goal setting a few years ago was to make the library a place that's comfortable, a place where people can come and enjoy whatever it is, the book, the magazine, the newspaper, browsing at the artwork and exhibits, to feel warm and welcoming. And as I visited these other libraries, I felt all those things there, and it's great to know that ours does the same. That when you come into our library, people will say hello to you and be ready to help you with whatever your need or your desire is at that time. So stop by and see us. We'd love to have you come in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And by the way, Ruth and Lynn, I think it's wonderful that you guys spend your time doing this, because I think it's important that libraries maintain to be, relevant, and I think every community needs to have, you know, a public library.
Yeah,
So.
We thank you for that thought. And I know I grew up in a house where my mom especially, and oftentimes my dad, read to my brother and to me almost every night. And some people can't do that easily or don't have the books and so on. So you can come to the library, you can check out a book, you can do such things. And when you start nurturing these things in youth, they don't go away. They'll stay with you for life, and you'll be a well-informed and a very literate person that understands and appreciates the printed matter as well as the new keyboard, if you will, generation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That moves us to item 7, which is going to be public comment. This is going to be restricted to 3 minutes regarding issues on this agenda and this agenda only. Would you have anybody that's would like to come up for public comment? Seeing none, we close public comment and we move on to item 8, which is reports and board comments. We don't have any appointments at this point in time on any boards, so I think we're set there. And thank you again, Clerk Cody, for stepping up and taking the Planning Commission spot. I hope that's going well.
I only went to the one meeting so far.
Well, that's right, one down, right?
Yeah.
So we move on to board reports, and let's start with Tim.
I have no board reports to announce that I attended, but I did attend, kind of going along with what the library has to offer. There was a offering to the public free of charge at the local theater, and it was a series of short movies produced by in conjunction with the Sundance Film Festival group on indigenous people. And there were about 6 movies that were grouped together and showed, which took an hour and a half of time, and there was questions and answers. Some of the directors were there. But that's just a really neat opportunity to have available to us as the 6th annual year in a row they were able to do that, and just as an opportunity to get some terrific information that is not normally offered to us at free of charge in an air-conditioned theater. So that was really enjoyable Monday night.
Bill?
Went to a road commission meeting the 28th of June, night after our meeting. They approved, the night after our meeting on the 27th, they approved the Lincoln Road project that we talked about on the 27th. They also approved Lincoln and Broomfield, I'm sorry. And then they also approved the Isabella Road project. I got a call today, they started Deerfield Road. I went out there and looked at that today. They had probably a quarter of a mile done where they were finished. It looked pretty good. So hopefully everybody out there is happy with it after it's all done. We're getting a new truck for our township. They try to have a truck for every township. We're getting an old, it was a Army surplus truck that they had last year. I think some of us saw it there when they had their open house. That thing's all converted now. It's pretty cool looking. They got another one that Thursday on the 28th. This thing came from Argentina. It was a $170,000 truck, and the road commission got it for like $20,000. It had 1,016 miles on it. Now they'll take that truck and they'll convert it into a road truck. Tony was telling me when they do that with those trucks, they have anywhere from 100 to 110,000 into them. Where if they buy a new truck and convert it over, they have like 225,000 into them. So it's pretty decent to see that stuff. I got up in our truck and everything and played with some of the controls and stuff. Probably shouldn't have, but whatever.
So now they know
That's
who
it.
to blame.
But Deerfield Road is supposed to be done by Friday, weather permitting.
Where are they at with the engineering on Lincoln? Have they heard anything on that at all?
They never said anything.
Okay.
It just got approved that night, so I haven't heard anything else from them. I'm sure they'll talk about it at one of their next meetings. I'm sure they'll let Mark know.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
Taxes went out on Friday, June 29th, so everybody should have their tax bills. There have been a couple that were returned, so I'm gonna be getting, looking for correct information, correct addresses on those couple and getting those back out, but that's all I have.
All right, very good. Norm?
I have nothing to report tonight.
Lisa? Nothing? I don't have anything either. So we'll move on to our next item, which is going to be consent agenda. We do need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'd make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Support.
All right, and who checked the,
I checked, everything looked good,
okay,
so everything was in order.
all right. So all in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On to next item, which is new business. And these will be the first of our land divisions for the evening. Somebody was a busy little person with these. I've never seen so many on one. And so the first one is going to be approval of land division for parcel 37-14-02-30-013-00, and this is located at 2265 East Broomfield. Mark, you want to lead us into this?
Thank you. The application for this land division was filed March 16th by Brian and Kimberly M. Dean's Trust. The existing parcel is a 20-acre parcel. It's split zoned B4, kind of in the front, I'll say, and then R1. The land division will create two parcels. One parcel will be 1 acre zoned B4, and the second parcel, the remaining 19 acres, will remain with the split zoning that currently exists. This split is to facilitate Central Michigan Surveying to purchase the 1 acre lot and to move their business to that location. The application has been reviewed by the assessor, planner, township clerk, comports with the local and state regulations, and the administration recommends that the board approve this division.
On this particular item, I will be involved in discussion, but as far as vote is concerned, I'll leave it up to the board whether I should be recusing myself, because this is a parcel right across the street from my house.
I'd make a motion to approve the land division for parcel 17-14-021-30-013-00, located at 2265 East Broomfield Road, Mount Pleasant.
I'll support it.
Okay, motion and support. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just had a few questions about it. Well, first of all, just on a little thing here with, on the Charter Township of Union Land Division approval, just under, above Pat's name, it should have put in as approve. Instead, Brian Dean's signed a signature on that, so just, that's one thing that needed to be corrected. It's a little thing. All the others had the approved and then the signature, and this one has Brian signing, so that has to be changed. Or maybe not, but something to look at. It says that, so the parent property, the parent parcel, as of March 31st, 1997, there was 20 acres. And so there's 4 splits and then 1 additional 10 acre. So we're making 2 splits here. How many splits does that leave after the division? Do you know offhand, Pat?
Pat, if you'd come up to the table, please.
I know, like with the Land Division Act, you get so many
Right.
splits with the
You
parcel,
get
and then
4 with the first 10 acres and 1
for each additional 10 acres, full
Okay.
10 acres. So they
Okay.
have 5 splits and they've taken 1.
So then there's still gonna be a remaining 4 splits if they want to use it for the 20,
Yes,
for the 19 acres that remains, is that
That's
correct? Okay. And the 1 acre that's being taken out, that's where there's the commercial building to the west.
yes, Tim Beebe's buying that.
Okay, and that's gonna be where Central Michigan Surveying is gonna go into
They're
there,
going
is
to
that
be moving.
correct? Okay.
And they applied for the land division, but they asked me to hold it until they had the purchase agreement in place,
Gotcha.
which is why it took so
Yeah,
long.
yeah,
I wasn't procrastinating.
right, right.
Well, that was a comic book store before, right?
Correct, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
So
They've
it-
remodeled it very nicely.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
All right, any further discussion?
Just in response to your, possibility of recusing yourself, I think typically, unless you have some sort of
Financial.
financial
Financial.
interest
Yeah.
in that piece of property,
I think I think one of the other items though is it with it being adjacent. It's across the street, so it's close enough that I don't think this is necessarily a big controversial item anyway, but.
well, I'm not aware of that being a
Yeah, I don't see-
contributing factor to
Okay.
recuse yourself, so
Yeah.
Okay.
I certainly would support you.
There's no
Okay.
conflict of interest that I
I
can
don't see a
see.
conflict of
Yeah,
interest
I
there,
don't
Ben.
either.
Okay, all right. All right, well, any further discussion on this item? All right, seeing none, this would be for the approval of the land division on, for parcel 37-14-021-30-013-00 located at 2265 East Broomfield. All in favor of this, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Just stay there.
Land division approved. We have another land division as item B. And this one is going to be, the approval for land division for parcel 37-14-10-003-003, and this property is located at, there's no address there, East Wing Road. So obviously there's gotta be an address,
You're
right?
further down,
Because they're vacant.
Not
Oh,
yet.
they're vacant?
yeah.
Gotcha,
It'll be assigned.
gotcha. All right.
So on this item, it's on page 23 of your agenda pack, application filed June 19th by Mr. Jason Russell. The existing parcel is a little over 3 1/3 acres, also split zoned B4 and ag. The land division will create 3 parcels, 2 of which will be 1 acre each, and each of those will be zoned A agriculture. The third parcel, which will be 1 1/3 acre approximately, will continue with the split zoning of the B4 and agricultural. This land division is going to facilitate the pending sale of one of the 1 acre parcels and the subsequent issue of a building permit to build, I believe, a family residence. Again, this has been reviewed internally by the township clerk, assessor, and planner. The administration recommends that you approve it, and it comports with the local ordinances and State Land Division Act. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question. Okay, maybe this is a little bit of housekeeping here. Every time we have a motion, maybe this isn't the time to bring it up, but I mean, I watch other meetings. Every time we have something on the floor, Ben reads the motion, or Ben will read it, the request, then Mark does it, then we come back, we read it, and then Ben reads it again, so we're doing it 4 times. I mean, you watch the county commission meetings, I mean, I go to the road commission meetings, the chairman has the request, and then one of the trustees or whatever approve it. And they don't wind up, they don't wind up reading the whole request again. It seems, I know Lisa and I talked about it, we do it 4 times every time we have something. I mean, is there a reason we do that?
Well, I'm not aware of the 4 times you're referring to. The
Well, it seems like-
supervisor's normally reading the requested action.
Yeah.
I'm providing background
Yeah.
on the item in front of you,
Yeah,
and then I turn it back over to the supervisor for,
right.
if
And
the
then
board is inclined to
then
make a
it comes to
motion or
one
not.
of us, and we read the same thing again, and then after we get done, then Ben reads it again. So it seems to me like once is enough.
Well, the one thing that I do like is that we read what's on.
Yeah.
on-
Oh, I like
on-
when
for-
Mark-
for
yeah.
For the public, so
Yeah,
that they know
I like
exactly what
how
is it we're
Mark does
voting
that,
on.
goes down all that. Maybe
Right.
it's just me, but
I'd
just-
make a motion for approval of land division parcel 37-14-035-10-003-003 located at East Wing Road.
Support.
Okay, motion and a support. That is 2 now. We start counting these things.
Getting self-conscious.
Got me thinking about it now. Okay, discussion.
Ben, I don't know if it matters, but I'm Jason Russell, I own that land. Both of those parcels are to be sold. I don't know if that mattered, if you needed to know that or not, but, the two 1 acre parcels are to be sold. And it was said one was, but both are to be sold.
Okay, so it's 2 parcels then.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Where are they located? I'm familiar with the area, but 4152 is your address.
Correct, yeah.
Where are the parcels
Directly north of my house.
say relative to, Grant Road? Are you to the east or the
Very
west?
to the west of Grant.
Okay,
In
so you're
between
fr-
Old Mission and Grant.
Okay, between Old Mission and Grant, okay, gotcha. Is there, with ag, so the split's gonna be, again, so the parent, parcel allows for 4 total splits. But,
Yes, it does.
but it seems there's a minimum in terms of acreage in ag, which is it 1 acre?
Yes.
Okay, so then in that regard, another split wouldn't be applicable down the road
No,
because
they
there wouldn't be
don't
enough
have any more
acreage.
splits.
Okay, so basically they're using 3 of the 4 only because they're restricted because of the size of the original
Correct.
property. Okay,
those are on the north side of the road, right?
Correct.
okay.
All right. Any further discussion? I almost hate to do this. This is number 3. All in favor of the approval of the land division for parcel 37-14-035-10-003-003 located at East Wing Road. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Land division approved. It's only 3 times, Bill.
Wow.
All right, so the next one is gonna be,
We're
again.
getting more efficient. So
Yeah,
we're down to 2
exactly.
now.
Exactly. Or Bill can't count, one of the 2.
You're double counting, Bill.
All right, so this is gonna be a land approval for, approval for land division again, and this is gonna be for parcel 37-14-010-30-003-003, and this is located at 1368 North Harris Street. Mark.
Thank you. This application was filed on June 6th by Coin LLC. The current parcel is 15 3/4 acre. It is split zoned R1 and I2, which is industrial. This land division will create 4 parcels. 3 parcels will have an average of 2.3 acres for each of the 3 parcels. They will be zoned R1. And then the remaining parcel of approximately 8.8 acres will continue with the zoning of I2. This split is to facilitate the construction of, I think, eventually 3 single-family residents, one of which has already been begun construction. Again, this has been reviewed internally by the assessor, the planner, and the township clerk. Comports with all local and state regulations. The administration recommends approval, and be happy to answer any questions.
I do have one question on this. Now, this is the property that we had the franchise agreement on, correct? With the city for the water service?
With the, what I'll call the parent or original parcel.
Okay, so how is that handled as far as the splits are concerned? Does that carry over, or do they have to get a separate agreement on each one?
This will effectively void the current franchise agreement. Franchise agreements follow legally described parcels of land.
Okay.
And this was known by the applicant at the front end. They chose at the very beginning to execute the existing franchise agreement so they could start, so they could get a building permit for the residential house and the, I'll call them truck buildings that are being built on the industrial portion. So they applied or granted a franchise agreement that facilitated that activity. But with this split, there will need to be, as a building permit is applied for on each of the new residential, that will trigger a new franchise agreement.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
And this action tonight has already triggered the current franchise agreement effectively being voided, and the city and the township are in the process of constructing the 2 franchise agreements that'll be needed, one for the industrial that currently exists and will be replaced. A new franchise agreement will replace the existing, and then a new franchise agreement will replace the existing on the residential parcel that already has the build occurring on it.
And then so each parcel, if they've got the 2 additional residences that they're gonna build, and they would have to get a separate agreement for each one of those parcels, correct?
Right, and when they apply for a building permit, that will trigger the start of, and both parties, the city and the township are already aware of this, will trigger the production, if you will, of the new franchise agreement. You need a structure, or you need some sort of building permit to trigger a franchise agreement, because the water has to serve something.
Gotcha. So you couldn't preemptively get the,
Correct.
you have to get the building permit first.
Correct.
Okay, all right. I just had a question. I remember we approved the agreement here a while back. I just wondered how that worked.
Well, this parcel's gone, I mean, probably, I'm thinking, when I was on the planning commission, this originally came up where we split off the industrial to the west in the back, and then we were gonna make residential the front that's on Harris.
Yeah.
And then originally it was gonna be for just a single residence on the, I think it was 6 acres in the
6.8
front
acres,
and 9 in the back, if I
0.08
recall.
8.8.
Okay, so, and then they, I think they came back again, and then it was, the request was for 2 parcels on that 6 acres, or the residential, and now it's gonna be for 3, is that correct?
Both sons want houses next
Gotcha.
to mom and dad.
Do you, what, so is that, if I recall, I think altogether it was like 14 point something acres, if I,
It was
the
about
total.
15.
Okay, and then we gave the 8 or 9 went to industrial, the rest came to.
Correct.
So each one of these existing lots then will be approximately 2 acres? Is that
Little
how
over 2
it's
acres.
figured? Okay. Okay.
So before we get into any more
Yes.
discussion, I'll make a motion, we approve the land division for parcel 3714-010-30003003 located at 1368 North Harris Street, owned by Coin LLC.
I support.
Okay, we do have a motion and a support. Any further discussion?
Yes, I'm gonna recuse myself from this. We're working on Mr. Coin's house.
Yeah, I just interested in, is it actually North Harris Street in the township?
Well, it's gonna have a North Harris address, yes. It's Harris/Crawford.
Crawford, yeah.
That kind of threw me for a loop as well.
Okay, yeah, so, the township proper must begin probably right at the south side of this property.
Yes.
Why won't we have it be Crawford Road, which would be consistent?
That's not my call. I have to deal with the county with their address system.
Oh, that's the county call?
The road looks good now.
I'm pretty sure at the
That
corner
rebate.
of Pickard and
That is city,
on the north side of the road,
But-
the street sign says Crawford
I know.
on the north side and
Correct.
Harris
Yeah.
on the
other
south.
side.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that seems like it could be confusing for, you know, potentially emergency service
Yes.
folks, maybe some other reasons that it could be confusing, but it's confusing for me.
Garage sale
I
signs.
vote too. It's the same.
Yeah, I thought it was a mistake in the first place. Was told no.
Yeah, that is kind of odd, isn't it?
And I've mentioned before that I think this is really great that we've converted this, because originally it was all industrial. And now this is the land that is directly across from the Native American land in terms of the boarding school, and that's gonna become a historic site. So I really like the fact that I think residential is much more congruent with that. And the other nice part of it was that they've agreed to a pathway or
Yep.
a sidewalk going all the way down, which would be connectivity up to the park and to the neighborhood that you live in. So there's a lot of nice features to this all around
Yes.
that I really like, so.
And it's a lot of money for three new houses.
Yes, yes, yeah. Three parcels is better than two parcels.
There's actually going to be 6 new structures, 3 houses and 3 to 5.
The cold storage buildings in the back.
Cold
I think
storage.
they originally were gonna, they said, I think it was gonna be 5 was the original thing in the back. I mean, this goes back about a year and a half ago when
does.
Mr. Quain first came before the planning commission on this.
It took us about 2 months or more to get the additional land divisions for Mr. Coyne from MRP.
Mm.
All right. Any further discussion? All right, let's bring this up for vote, and this is going to be for the approval of the land division for parcel 37-14-010-30-003-003, and this is located at 1368 North Harris / Crawford Road. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah, you were supposed to recuse.
It's already written down.
Yeah.
Bill reach on.
Just have it, huh?
Sit in the corner, Bill. All right, so, this will be our final land division for the evening, and this is going to be, for the approval of the land division and combination for parcel 37-14-034-40-001-06, and this is located at 5594 South Mission Road. The owners are the owner is Gwendolyn C. Oswald. Mark.
Thank you. This application was filed June 20th by Miss Gwendolyn Oswald. Couple things going on here. First is a split. There's a parcel that's just shy of 7 acres. It is split zoned agricultural and B4. That land division will create 2 new parcels. One parcel at 1 3/4 acres zoned B4, and the second parcel at 5 1/4 approximate acres at ag. So that's the split that's happening. Then there's a combination, and what's happening there is the 5.25 acres that I just referenced will be combined with a separate existing parcel that is a little over 30 acres. That will be combined, so there'll be approximately 36 acres resulting, and that will be split zoned as well, ag towards the back and B4 towards the front. And this split / combination is to facilitate the construction of a single-family residence on the ag portion that'll be located, I'll say, behind the current business, Clint's Auto Body Shop, that exists on the B4 zoned portion. Again, it's been through internal review, assessor, planner, clerk have signed off. Comports with the local ordinance and the Land Division Act, State Land Division Act. Administration recommends approval of this split and combination. We'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I would make a motion that we approve the land division and combination for parcel number 37-14-034-40-001-06, located at 5594 South Mission Road, Mount Pleasant.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a support. This piece of property's been through the door several times. This is the one that the larger portion is fairly unbuildable right in the back
Right.
because of some wetland areas and.
Well, it started with, they originally came to the planning commission. It was a special use permit for for them to put in the auto, sale type.
I wanted to sell a few autos out front.
Sell some autos in the front. And, so that's how it originally came to us. And it was, and again, along that stretch of South Mission, the front part of it is all zone B4 up to 400 feet deep. And then after that, it becomes ag. And then he also purchased the property next door to this existing parcel, which is the one where they're going to be building the residence. So, and then by combining the back section of his current property, which is behind the auto shop, that's the 6 acres almost, that gets combined with the 30 from the way I guess I understand it. And then he'd have 36 acres, but that would all then be ag.
Yep.
But with that, then he'd still be allowed, there's still eligible splits there if he wanted them. But
Yes, he does. The house is actually gonna sit on the 5 acres, and it would have to be combined with the 30 acres, or it wouldn't have any frontage.
oh, I gotcha. Yep, perfect. Yeah, I understand what you're saying because it's kind of L-shaped. Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna remove my microphone this time. I'm recusing on this one too. Because we're gonna be working on the house.
Kim, can you take Bill's microphone away from him?
Okay. All right, any further discussion on this
No,
particular
I think
item?
that's good.
All right. Well, it's nice to see this area kind of, I remember when the archery shop was there as a kid,
Yep.
and it's nice to see, a building that really had kind of gotten run down and get, repurposed, and it's nice to see them being able to live. I live right next to my business. I think it's fabulous to be able to, be close to your business like that. So I'm all for anybody that was looking to do that. So Anybody else have anything to say at all on this one? I don't, let's go ahead and bring this up to vote then, and this would be for the approval. This is number 3, by the way. Approval for the land division in combination for parcel 37-14-034-40-001-06, and this is located at 5594 South Mission Road, Mount Pleasant. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion carries. And then we move on to item 11, which I believe will actually have somebody actually want to come up and talk to us here, it looks like. And this would be extended public comment, and this is restricted to 5 minutes regarding any issue. Sir, I'd like to come up.
Thank you. Just came to introduce myself. I'm Rick Altman, and I'm running for the Senate seat here, the 33rd District. I was a former state representative for Montcalm, Gratiot counties, and termed out in 2016. And I was born and raised in Six Lakes, not too far from here. And I still live on the same farm I grew up on. And graduated from Lakeview High School, went in the Army, saw active combat in Beirut, Lebanon, if any of you remember us being over there. And got out, went to college to be a teacher at Grand Valley. Life circumstances dictated otherwise, and I actually ended up owning the business that I avoided like the plague growing up, which is out in excavating. So I'm a 3rd generation owner of out in excavating. I did finish my teaching degree. I just did it in the winters, and over the course of about 11 winters, I got a degree in teaching biology and Spanish, and I've done a little of that, substitute teaching, and I did teach some adult ed math courses, and the rest of my family teaches. So in our family, you either went into teaching or you went into excavating, and I just happened to do both. And so I'm married. I've been married for 29 years. I have 3 children, 1 grandson, and a granddaughter on the way, due in September, and we're waiting anxiously. And in 2010, I was asked to run for the legislature. I did, and was elected. So I came in with Kevin Cotter. We served together the entire time, termed out together. Senator Emmons had asked me to work for her after I termed out, just to help her in the district, so I became her district liaison for about 1.5 years. I still help her out as much as I can. Now it has to be pro bono, because when you're running for an office, you can't be a staffer. It's just a House and Senate rule. It isn't anything that's that the state mandates. It's something they put into place, because must be it got messy down there at one time with all the staffers running against each other. I don't know the details. Because of term limits, you lose a lot of that institutional knowledge, so you don't know why things are the way they are. But I just wanted to come introduce myself, and we've been out knocking doors and putting up a few signs, and it's getting close to the primary. And, just hope I can count on some of you guys for support. And if you have any questions, certainly by all means, I'm available to answer them. Thanks for your time. I have some literature if you need it. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. Do we have anybody else who would like to come forward for public comment? Seeing none, we close public comment and we move to item 12, manager's comments. Mark?
Thank you. I'll be brief. Just want to let the board know that there are discussions are underway with the city of Mount Pleasant for the renewal of the fire service contract that expires at the end of 2018. So we've begun meetings to renew that. That'll be brought to the board at the appropriate time. Somewhat related, at the next meeting, there will be an action item for the board that is related to the renewal of the fire millage. That the last year that we can collect that is this December of 2018. And so in order to be able to collect that moving forward, we'll need another vote of the electorate. The last time that was a 10-year millage. So you'll see an item before the board next meeting that asks you to approve the ballot language and to notice the intent, if you will, to place that ballot item on the, or that item on the ballot in November. Okay. And then just lastly, I mentioned at the last meeting a new monthly report that I'll be providing to the board. That'll be coming to you at the second meeting in July and in each second meeting of the month thereafter. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks.
What about fire truck? Aren't we getting a new fire truck?
We are. That's being spec'd. We've had meetings on that. That'll be being purchased under the purchasing policy of the city. We've been putting money aside over the years in the fire fund for that. It's anticipated that that will go out for bid yet this year. Whether or not the bid is awarded or a contract is awarded to manufacture the truck in 18 or early 19, I'm not sure, but that is in process.
And then we get the old one, and then we sell the old one, right?
The old one will be sold. I'm going to let them sell it. We will get the funds
Right,
for
right.
it, but they know more about selling used fire apparatus than we do,
Sure.
so I'll let them handle that. But yes.
It's a good segue from the gravel truck. All right. Let's move on to final board comment. Let's start over here with Norm.
I have nothing tonight.
Nothing. Okay.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Nothing.
Bill?
And we had a wage study request for a building official. We were talking here, I think back in April. We talked about getting a wage study done to see if we could increase the salary that we're offering for a building official. Just wondered how that's going.
The wage study?
Yeah.
The wage study, compensation, wage and compensation study will be applicable to all the positions in the township, the board included,
Yeah.
as well as the various boards and committee positions. That RFP has been is completed. It's been drafted. It's been through internal review. I've located about a half a dozen companies that I will be sending it out to. I hope that goes out yet this week.
Okay. I know it wasn't just for building official, but we brought it up when we were talking about hiring a building official. That's how we got talking about a wage study.
Are we still advertising, in terms of the building inspector or building official?
No, that's not under a continuous advertisement, if you
And
will.
we haven't gotten any more applications or anything like that? Nothing's come in?
No.
No?
Tim?
I don't have anything else.
No, I'm set, thanks.
Okay, two quick things. This is more food for thought than anything. First of all, you probably all read the article about the Recreation Authority. You know, the story on that on social media blew up. I mean, I don't know if you guys looked at that, but there was a lot of people that responded to that and a lot of positive. I mean, people really want to have a community pool.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we had that group that had come in a while back and we're talking about that, and I don't know where they're at as far as their funding is concerned, but it looks like that's the direction it's going. So it'll be interesting moving forward how these talks go, and you know, obviously this is something that would have to go probably to some type of a millage, I would have to think. But it's kind of interesting to see the support, and I think it's not such a bad idea. I wanted to bring up Bluegrass Road. I know that the Yow and Yow, when they did the audit, had mentioned that we needed to come up with a project because of our surplus funds, right? And every time I'm on Bluegrass Road, which is a lot, number one is if you're turning off Bluegrass onto Mission to the right, you can't see any traffic coming at all because everything is so overgrown on that south side of the road and on that corner. You got cattails that are probably 10 feet tall, and it's a pretty dangerous situation. It's already a dangerous enough road. I mean, I don't know how many times this summer I've seen car accidents over there in front of that plaza. But
In front of the
it happens
restaurant
a
there.
lot.
Yeah.
In front of
Yeah.
the restaurant, the lobster
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and I
Okay.
mean, it's just, the way that whole thing is designed, don't even get me started. But I think it's a pretty dangerous intersection, particularly if you're coming off Bluegrass. But I also, when you come up to that intersection, you see the really nice Mount Pleasant Gateway. And then when you look across the street at our side of the road, it's like knee-high weeds and a 2-track dirt path on a crosswalk that's overgrown. I don't think we can sit and expect Red Lobster to ever volunteer to do anything on that corner. It's not going to happen. We'll all be in our graves before something happens over there. So maybe it's something that we start discussing ourselves, is taking a look at that area, because it is such a highly utilized area. It's a very heavy used commercial area, and I just, every time I drive down there, I see, sidewalk, nothing, dirt track through the weeds. I just think that at some point in time, if we're looking for projects, that to me would be an extremely popular project with our residents and the area.
Is that state-owned? I would assume the state owns that, not Red Lobster.
In front of the Red Lobster, I mean, the
If you're
crosswalk.
like west of what Red Lobster you're
I would think the crosswalk would have to be our responsibility, being in our township. I don't know if it would be a sidewalk has to be in our wheelhouse, I would think, particularly if it's running along Bluegrass. But, it just that dirt 2-track going up that hill, it just, and it's how ill-kept it is. I just find that you look across the street and it's pristine and flowers and Mount Pleasant, and across the street is just awful, absolutely awful. And again, I know we're supposed to wait for development to come in, so they put the sidewalk in, but I think at some point in time, we have to kind of look at it as a public safety, but also just simply to beautify our township and make it look more professional. I mean, at what point in time are we gonna look at that corner and actually try to do something about it? Maybe doing something about filling in the sidewalks, putting in lighting, because you got students walking, from taverns and restaurants back to their apartments, and there's no lighting on that street. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, again, just strictly food for thought. Planting a seed is maybe that's something that we should look at and start, coming up with some ideas.
Yeah, I had also brought one up to Mark earlier when him and I were talking on the corner of Isabella and Airport. You have just over the bridge there.
Viaduct.
Seeing what we can do, because there's accidents there all the time, but I don't even know that there's anything we can do there. But, it's got those steep ditches and stuff. I don't know how many accidents you've had to
There's the
help out
subdivisions
with
to,
there, if
when
any.
you go to that
but-
viaduct.
Yeah.
You go over that, you're coming down, there's that subdivision you go into the subdivision to the left, which brings you into,
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, where that is exactly, but,
National
it's-
Drive.
National,
Yeah.
that's right, National Drive.
Yeah, but I mean, you
And that
can't
is,
you can't see anything. Turn left. So
They had years ago, the same situation was on Old 27 there, where Deerfield comes in. Remember where they it was a lot steeper, and then they came in and redesigned that area over the bridge and lowered it a little bit, so it was a little bit safer.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, when you turn left from Airport onto Isabella, you close your eyes and hit the gas pedal, you know, and just hope nothing's coming over.
Or just avoid it.
Or just avoid it.
But,
So,
yeah.
yeah, we've talked about that one before.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, these are all good things, and maybe, you know, this is something that, you know, I see city does workshops, work sessions, and, you know, I don't know if that's where maybe we need to have something like that where we can sit down and come up with some really good viable projects that, you know, because we don't wanna keep going into a year end in my mind with huge surpluses, because that means to me that we've underserved our residents. So, again, I think that's something that we need to all kinda put in our back of our minds. So, all right, anybody else got anything else? All right, so we do need to have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we do have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, thank you.
What's that?
Oh, good, you voted.